We weren't even a human being to them. We were just another toy to be passed around.
I thought I was going to a legitimate audition for Victoria's Secrets. Maxwell was among Epstein's closest associates and helped him exploit girls who were as young as 14 years old.
Without Ghislaine, the Jeffrey Epstein that everybody grew to know, the monster that ultimately was able to gain access to dozens and dozens, if not over 100 female victims, he couldn't have existed.
Prince Andrew should be panicking at the moment because Ghislaine doesn't really care about anyone else but Ghislaine.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady.
He was a fixture in Palm Beach. I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I wasn't a fan.
You could binge watch the entire first season of Afterlife. Season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care. You like to make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you?
More skeletons are tumbling out of the closet in the sensational Jeffrey Epstein case that rocked the world last year. Maxwell's arrest comes just a few days before the anniversary of Epstein's arrest last year on sex trafficking charges.
Sprawling over 156 acres, a secluded place with a no trespassing sign. A luxury timber-framed home surrounded by pine and oak trees. A hideout in rural New Hampshire, United States. A stone with the words "tucked away" carved into it. This is where English socialite Ghislaine Maxwell was hiding. The former girlfriend and longtime associate of the late disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein has been arrested in the United States on charges of luring underage girls so that Epstein could sexually abuse them. Her arrest is the latest twist in the incredibly complicated Epstein case. The 66-year-old was found hanging in a New York City jail last August. He was awaiting trial on federal charges of trafficking and facing up to 45 years in prison for allegedly abusing dozens of underage girls as part of his sex trafficking operation. An apparent suicide, his death brought a sudden and unexpected close to the criminal case against him, and came as a blow to his accusers, who had hoped to confront their alleged abuser in court. Prosecutors allege Maxwell helped lure at least 3 girls, one as young as 14, to be sexually abused by the late Epstein.
Maxwell enticed minor girls, got them to trust her, then delivered them into the trap that she and Epstein had set for them. She pretended to be a woman they could trust. All the while, she was setting them up to be sexually abused by Epstein, and in some cases, by Maxwell herself.
The arrest led to a renewed focus on Maxwell and Epstein's high-profile associates. Epstein saw himself as a collector of famous friends. "I invest in people, be it politics or science," he once said in an interview in 2002. Some of the most powerful people in the world, including former President Bill Clinton and President Donald Trump, have been linked to Epstein. Well-known figures such as British royal Prince Andrew and controversial filmmaker Woody Allen have been known to visit his private island, flown on his private jet, and had him as a guest in their homes. Now his pal, Ghislaine Maxwell, faces up to 35 years in jail for allegedly grooming underage girls. Will she tell all to get a lighter sentence? 2 down. Who is going to get convicted next? Let's unravel the Epstein saga. So who was he? Born to Jewish parents in 1953, Epstein grew up on Coney Island in New York. Said to be a maths whiz, he studied at a division of New York University, but did not graduate. He went on to teach calculus and physics before becoming a trader and a fund manager to the rich and powerful. He has been widely called a billionaire, but the source of his money is obscure. According to a will signed just 2 days before his death, he was worth $577,672,654. Like his life, his death too is shrouded in mystery. But this person holds the key to resolving his crimes.
Ebola, nuclear threats, Syria, the Ukraine. These are all newsworthy front-page stories that have the possibility that they could change the way that we live our lives and threaten our very security. In fact, you could argue that for some people it keeps them awake at night.
These talk shows, campaigns for climate change issues are some of the things she was known for. But topping her resume is the global sex traffic business involving underage girls she ran with her partner in crime, Jeffrey Epstein. Ghislaine Noel Maxwell, the youngest child of disgraced publishing tycoon Robert Maxwell, came to the United States after her father's death in 1991. Robert Maxwell fell to his death from his yacht, the Lady Ghislaine. Around this time, she also broke up with Italian aristocrat Count Gianfranco Cigogna, a member of the wealthy Siga Hotels clan and a stunt pilot who later died in a plane crash in 2012. The split and her father's death are said to be the 2 reasons why she decided to move to New York. Exactly how Maxwell met Epstein is unclear. Some say they met in the early 1990s at a New York party, but the two reportedly dated for a short period of time around 1992, then remained close friends after breaking up. Call her Epstein's confidant, former girlfriend, or just a business partner. The nature of their relationship is complex. What's apparent is this. The British socialite had all the contacts and Epstein had all the money. In a 2009 deposition, several of Epstein's household employees testified that Epstein referred to her as his main girlfriend, who also hired, fired, and supervised his staff starting around 1992. She has also been referred to as the lady of the house by Epstein's staff and as his aggressive assistant. In a 2003 Vanity Fair profile on Epstein, author Vicky Ward said Epstein referred to Maxwell as my best friend. But she was more than a best friend. She was Epstein's enabler.
Several times I was in the car with her and she would ask the driver to stop the car. And she'd dash across to the school or the park or wherever she was going, and she would write down her phone number for a child, a young girl. And then I'd see that child at the house. And she'd say, they're auditioning. I found a model in the park. Basically, they brought me to the, Ghislaine escorts me to Jeffrey's room, and he's lying there, and he goes, well, here, sit down. And so right next to him, and then Ghislaine sits on the other side, and they began assaulting me. But really, while I was lying there the whole time, I'm thinking, my sister's been around these people. My sister was 16. She's been around them alone.
She was an integral part of the grooming process. And for some of them, it was years later before they really realized that that's what had happened. But not many who really knew her liked her. And most of them, after a while, grew to realize she was deceiving them all along and helping to facilitate what turned out to be some pretty brutal crimes.
During the 1990s, Maxwell has also been associated and photographed with Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, and lawyer Alan Dershowitz. All these men have been accused of sexual misconduct. She was also a guest at Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010. She introduced all of them to Jeffrey Epstein. Their association had an ugly, sordid side. According to the victims, Ghislaine helped smooth the way for Epstein to sexually molest the young girls recruited to massage him.
She was in charge, and without Ghislaine, the Jeffrey Epstein that everybody grew to know, the monster that ultimately was able to gain access to dozens and dozens, if not over 100 female victims, he couldn't have existed. I mean, she created him.
He has provided this photo of Mr. Epstein and herself. The photo is of Jeffrey Epstein and Tila Davies. It is Tila's first time on a helicopter. They are flying over the United States Virgin Islands. She is smiling because she did not yet realize that he had a predatory plan for her.
In 2008, Epstein was convicted of soliciting a minor for prostitution and served 13 months of an 18-month jail sentence. Following Epstein's release, Maxwell distanced herself from Epstein and went underground. After Epstein's death in 2019, she was pictured just once at a burger outlet in Los Angeles, but their past could not be forgotten. And now she has been finally nabbed by the FBI. She will appear remotely by video for a courthouse arrangement and bail hearing on July 14th. With her arrest, many well-known names may be tossed into the investigation. Maxwell is known for her long-standing friendship with Prince Andrew, the second son of Queen Elizabeth II. Andrew has said on record that he has known Maxwell since he was at Oxford University. In the 1990s, Maxwell notoriously escorted Prince Andrew to a hookers and pimps social function in New York. She introduced Epstein to Prince Andrew, and the three often socialized together. Andrew has been accused of having sex with Virginia Roberts Giuffre, one of Epstein's alleged underage victims, 3 times in 2001 when she was 17. In a civil lawsuit and in interviews, Giuffre said she was recruited and groomed by Maxwell to have sex with Epstein and to provide sexual services to his famous and powerful friends. In a televised interview just a few weeks before Epstein's death, Prince Andrew defended his relationship with the convict. It brought a storm of negative coverage and forced Prince Andrew to relinquish his public roles.
One of Epstein's accusers, Virginia Roberts, has made allegations against you. She says she met you in 2001. She says she dined with you, danced with you at Tramp nightclub in London. She went on to have sex with you in a house in Belgravia belonging to Ghislaine Maxwell, your friend. Your response?
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
You don't remember meeting her?
No.
The Duke has not been questioned by US authorities yet, although his legal team has denied claims that he is deliberately evading investigation. Soon after Ghislaine was arrested, a photo of her sitting alongside actor Kevin Spacey on the Queen's throne in Buckingham Palace went viral. Who invited them into the throne room? The British royal family remains mum on the issue. I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. This is what Donald Trump said about Jeffrey Epstein in 2002. Cut to 2020, and it is not surprising that the President of the United States has changed his mind about the convicted pedophile.
I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I wasn't a fan.
How did Jeffrey Epstein know Donald Trump? The two were neighbors in Palm Beach, Florida. Trump owned the Mar-a-Lago resort in the area, which Epstein was spotted at regularly. This resort is where Epstein met Virginia Robert Giuffre, where she worked as a locker room attendant. In 2017, Trump nominated Alexander ACOSTA to be Labor Secretary for the United States, and he was confirmed by the Senate. ACOSTA, too, was connected to Epstein. As a U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida, ACOSTA had instrumented a secret plea deal in 2008 for saving Jeffrey Epstein. It granted Epstein and 4 named co-conspirators immunity from all federal criminal charges. The agreement was conducted without consulting the victims and led to Epstein serving 13 months in a private wing of a Florida jail. After Epstein's arrest in July 2019 on sex trafficking charges, ACOSTA faced renewed and harsher criticism for his role in the 2008 non-prosecution agreement. There were calls for ACOSTA to quit as Labor Secretary, and he did resign. However, many questions remain unanswered. Why did ACOSTA agree to a cushy Jeffrey Epstein plea deal in 2004? And didn't President Trump know about the infamous deal while selecting ACOSTA to serve as Labor Secretary? Epstein's brother once said in an interview, "They were good friends. I know Trump is trying to distance himself, but they were." Trump's phone number, as well as numbers for his wife Melania and other members of his inner circle, were found in Epstein's little black book of contacts. Investigators also found that Trump called Epstein at least twice in November 2004. More than 20 women have accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct. In 2016, a woman had alleged that Trump and Epstein had raped her in 1994 when she was a 13-year-old aspiring model. Trump denied the allegations as being categorically false, and the woman dropped her lawsuit. Nothing has been proved yet. Little St. James, a 70-acre private island in the Caribbean. Jeffrey Epstein bought it in 1998, and over the years it has achieved fame in the worst way possible. It has nicknames like Island of Sin, Pedophile Island, and Orgy Island. Virginia Roberts Giuffre, one of the accusers, also said that the ex-president was on the island, but had never behaved inappropriately. After Epstein was busted in July 2019, Clinton admitted to riding on the financier's private jet 4 times, but denied all other accusations. In a statement, a Clinton spokesperson said, and we quote, "He has never been to Little St. James Island, Epstein's ranch in New Mexico, or his residence in Florida." But look at these pictures. These are from 2002. Clinton was photographed smiling with Ghislaine Maxwell at the entrance of the financier's plane during a humanitarian trip to Africa, which was allegedly hosted by the former president's foundation. This was the same private plane that Epstein used to shuttle underage girls between his properties, and it has been dubbed the Lolita Express. And in this one, the woman with Clinton in this picture is Chauntay Davis, a personal masseuse for Epstein. She too had accused Epstein of raping her multiple times over several years. Epstein, Clinton, and Maxwell were accompanied on this trip by actor Kevin Spacey and comedian Chris Tucker. In 2002, Clinton said, and we quote, Jeffrey is both a highly successful financier and a committed philanthropist with a keen sense of global markets and an in-depth knowledge of 21st century science. But the question is, how could a former president with access to the best intelligence not know anything about a millionaire he chose to hobnob with? Another famous name linked with Jeffrey Epstein, Lex Wexner, is the CEO and founder of L-Brands, the parent company to Victoria's Secret. One of America's longest-serving CEOs, his net worth is $4.8 billion. The fashion mogul hired Epstein to be his financial advisor in the late 1980s and later gave him power of attorney. Wexner paid Epstein millions of dollars in fees over the years. For his part, Epstein exploited a string of women by luring them with the promise of work with Victoria's Secret.
We weren't even a human being to them. We were just another toy to be passed around.
I thought I was going to a legitimate audition for Victoria's Secrets.
Wexner has been accused of failing to take action when complaints were raised against Epstein. With powerful associates like Wexner, Epstein got away with decades of predatory behavior, until 2019. Epstein was arrested on July 6th and found dead on August 10th in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan. An autopsy concluded that he hanged himself, but questions linger. Many reports suggest he feared for his life and was directing money in other inmates' accounts in exchange for protection. Did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself, or was he killed by someone who did not want him to reveal any secrets? 2 correctional officers who were assigned to guard him on the night he died in his cell have been indicted for negligence. A year later, with Maxwell's arrest, there is some chance of unraveling this case. Interestingly, fearing a repeat of what happened with Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell was reportedly given paper clothes upon checking into the detention center in Brooklyn, New York, and her bed sheets were taken away. She is now far removed from a life of orgies and scandals. Born into privilege, Epstein's alleged madame was used to mixing with royalty, presidents and movie stars. Now she is an inmate. Will she reveal the secrets Epstein took to his grave? And will more skeletons come tumbling out? We will continue to track this case on WION.